Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly, back to post a quick video here. This is a kind of few recent finds. Merry Christmas to everyone. What I've been spending, kind of just that overall, all-around update video. So first off, let me start by saying that day after Christmas. Hope everyone had a great Christmas yesterday. Hope you got a chance to hang out with family and friends and all that good stuff. Excuse me. And just hope in general it was just kind of an enjoyable day. I mean, that's always a great thing. Just wanted to share today a couple of recent finds. I kind of put a halt on buying vinyl up to Christmas time, just because oftentimes I'm not sure exactly what I might get for Christmas, and it's just kind of a time too to, not focus on myself and focus on other people and that type of thing. And so, of course, one of the biggest sacrifices I can make towards anyone is giving up vinyl. For them, that's like dang near like chopping off my arm for them. So it always makes me feel good to kind of go on that little no buying hiatus right up going up to Christmas time. So anyway, just want to share a couple things that I got, and again, what I've been spending. Really was kind of cool too. So the last few days I've had quite a bit of time to kind of sit around and just hang in the music room and everything. I redid one of my shelves and one of my listening areas. So that was kind of fun a lot of work, but kind of fun to do that. And this is kind of a really cool spin, because having more time to really dig through my collection, I started going in and pulling out things that maybe I haven't listened to in a while and that type of stuff. And it's one of those few moments where I actually kind of sat back for a second and went, holy cow, I got some good music in my collection. It's like I was able to remind myself just by really digging back in and seeing some of the stuff that I just had not been spending. So it was just kind of like a really good couple of musical days, if you will, which is kind of awesome. So one of the things I pulled out, which what you hear playing in the background right now, which is Lou Donaldson, Midnight Creeper. I always refer to this as my Austin Powers jazz. Like when I hear this type of organ type of jazz, it always makes me think about something I might hear in an Austin Powers movie. But really like that stuff. So again, that's what's playing in the background. Listened to that a couple of times over the past couple of days. And I think this is probably the best song on it too, which is really nice. So again, if you're not familiar with this, make sure you check it out. Alright. So let's kind of get into some of the VCLT and Christmas gifts and all that good stuff. First, and probably the best one, I think, would have to be this one here, which is Metallica's Never. This is the 3 LP box set. I just made a passing comment one time that I thought it was kind of cool that Metallica had something new out, and next thing you know, it shows up for Christmas. So I was very, very thankful for that. Really cool box set too. Let me just kind of break it open really quick. I won't go into a lot of detail. I spent a bunch of time on it, so I want to get through some of this other stuff. But just to show you a couple really cool things that kind of came in it. There's this stencil that came in there, which is kind of neat. And I guess part of the idea of that stencil is on each one of the sleeves, it kind of has, you can see there, that stenciled image. And then of course just has like a regular paper sleeve inside. And so all three of them are like that. It's a 3 LP set, and one you see here is on black vinyl. Let's see here, I don't want to mess up the edges. It's really kind of snug in there. Then the other one here is on red vinyl. Not quite clear, but solid red vinyl. And then the third LP with that same, sleeve there. The third LP is on white vinyl. So again, very nice 3 LP set. It's basically the soundtrack, if you will, of that movie or whatever that thing was that just came out. I actually haven't seen it yet and didn't catch it in the theaters, but it's basically the soundtrack from that. So just a bunch of live performances with Metallica doing all their traditional stuff. I think really no new music on here. But one thing I was very impressed with was the quality of the pressing and the recording. As most of you probably know, I'm not a huge fan of live music as far as live albums, because they tend to just sound so off in a lot of different ways. But this one was pretty darn solid. Sound quality and all that stuff, very good pressing, very good recording for a live show. I always have a little bit of an issue of hearing James Hetfield sing some of the older songs, like, you know, from Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All and Injustice and all those albums with his older man voice. You know, that's something I think I'll always have a little bit of an issue with, but I mean, you can't expect a 40-plus-year-old man to sound the same way he sounded when he was 18, 19 years old. But still, just overall great pressing. I was really impressed listening to it, so that was definitely probably one of the highlights of new additions to my collection over Christmas. And I also got, this was kind of funny too, because we were walking the mall doing some shopping, and we walked by one of these, you know, those little kiosks, they do t-shirts and stuff like that, and it says like, you know, my girlfriend, this, that, or my whatever, and you know, and I just made this little comment, like, you know, it'd be funny if there was like a t-shirt that had said like, you know, my blah 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 blah, and I made this little comment saying that would be a funny shirt, and when you know, it shows up on my front doorstep. So check out this t-shirt. Probably should have just worn it. My record collection is better than yours. So that was definitely a laugh when I saw that. I was like, that is too funny. And look how they did my. They put the Metallica M on my. So I don't know. That's kind of cool. That was funny too. So that was definitely a nice one. Another recent find. Eric Dolphy, the Berlin concerts. Just really nice 2 LP set. Just Eric and a number of other people. Ben Bailey, Jamil Nasser, Buster Smith, a couple of just kind of a live performance they did, obviously, in Berlin. Really good recording, especially again for a live recording, and just kind of Eric doing his thing. So very, very good find there. Another good addition to the collection, Slayer, God Hates Us All. One of the new reissues just came out. I don't know, just really nice 180-gram pressing. I mean, nothing too out of the ordinary to say about that, but just another great Slayer album too. You know, title, of course, God Hates Us All. I don't know, I've come to terms with that with Slayer in the sense that, you know, there's nothing about me that believes that Slayer is actually a satanic group as much as this is how they like to show their rebellion, if you will. And I think they've actually said that in some interviews and stuff before too. So, you know, I don't get too caught up in all that stuff. You know, I like the music, and you know, nothing's gonna sway the way I feel about certain things. So I won't hold that against Slayer because they rock, plain and simple. So that was a great addition to the Slayer collection. What else were we spinning here? Tour de Force by Sonny Rollins. You know, I talked about this in my last video about my Grails, Deep Groove Original Prestige pressing. So I decided to throw this on the other day and was checking it out. So that was a good listen. Also threw on a little Ike Quebec. Some more great Blue Note jazz here. Just kind of very straightforward, traditional jazz here. Nothing, you know, free jazz or outlandish or anything about that. Let me just put these in my lap so I don't have to keep bending down there. Boris, Heavy Rocks. And this is just the inner sleeves because of, you know, I got the cover signed, so it's hanging on my wall, but I pulled this out yesterday and gave it a spin. And definitely, this is kind of more my favorite Boris, kind of their heavier stuff. Very good 2 LP sets. If you're not familiar with Boris Heavy Rocks, make sure you check out this LP for sure. Let's see, I'll set that there. Striper. All you 80s metalheads, I know LJ is all about this. This is In God We Trust. Probably my favorite Striper album. Has 2 of my favorite songs by them on there, which is The Rain and then also Always There For You. Definitely my 2 favorite Striper tracks. So again, really cool stuff. Good 80s hair metal there. The Church. Again, if you're an 80s fan, you remember Starfish. The song Under the Milky Way, awesome track, great track. What else is I spinning here? David Gilmour. Only listened to side 1, haven't gone through side 2 of this again yet, but again, it's David Gilmour, classic, former frontman of Pink Floyd, or yeah, former frontman of Pink Floyd. This was a pleasure to spin too. I hadn't pulled this one out in quite some time. It's a 2 LP set, and I listened to both sides all the way through. But the Best of Otis Redding, nice 2 LP set. I mean, just Otis doing his thing too. So very, very awesome. Another one I haven't spun in quite some time, Willie Dixon, I Am the Blues. Probably one of the men in the blues world, maybe even you could say in the early rock world, that never got the credit he was due. Because when it came to Chess Records, you know, Muddy Waters, Howling Wolf, and all those guys, I mean, it's amazing the amount of input that this guy had in terms of helping him write songs, the songs he wrote, everything else. Matter of fact, I think he wrote Hoochie Coochie Man for Muddy Waters, I believe. But, you know, just all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I think sometime in the, I don't know if it was late 70s, early 80s, maybe even to the 90s, I don't recall, but he sued Led Zeppelin for stealing so much of his crap. And he won like 7 figures in the lawsuit because Led Zeppelin had stole so much of his stuff and never gave him writing credit for it. So again, I mean, a man that was just so darn influential in the blues and rock world. If you're not familiar with Willie Dixon, make sure you go check this man out. Because he is the man without question. The Best of Wilson Pickett. I'm not saying anything about that. One of the best voices in music, period, ever. Love Wilson. That's kind of a greatest hits. And then also spun a little Hey Jude. But he does a great cover on this of the Beatles' Hey Jude, which is, I mean, just fantastic. You talk about soul just pouring out of your speaker. Put his cover of Hey Jude on, and you'll see what soul is all about. Another good one I haven't spun in quite some time, Black Keys. Chulahoma. Another very good, kind of a short album, but at the same time, I mean, definitely a very good album. Just the Black Keys doing their thing. Little Dragons. Ritual Union. Another very interesting group. I'm not even sure how to even describe these guys. It's kind of a little combination between, it's almost like jazzy in some places, and then kind of hipster, and then kind of, I don't know, it's just like you can definitely, if you sit there and really pick at it, you can pick a lot of different elements. So it's very creative kind of what they're doing, but just kind of a very crisp, pleasant album to listen to, if that makes any sense. If you listen to it, you'll probably understand exactly what I'm saying. But more good stuff there. U2 Rattle and Hum. I was looking through my U2 collection the other day, and I was looking at this is probably my least favorite U2 album, so I thought, let me kind of throw it on and just, you know, kind of recall what it's about and everything. And again, it wasn't too bad. There's definitely some good stuff on here, but still, it's the low man on the totem pole of my U2 collection. Even though it's still a good album, it's just probably one of my least favorite U2 albums. Especially the cover of All Along the Watchtower they did on here. Could have totally left that alone. They butchered a great song, but still, no, decent 2 LP set. I'm sorry, let me start this over. Okay. And here's one too that I bought probably, when I first started collecting, so we're talking maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I kept it sealed the whole time and decided to open it day before yesterday. I was like, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and crack it open, give it a spin. I mean, I have the cassette and I have the CD too, so I've listened to it obviously, but I just kept the vinyl sealed for almost 4 or 5 years, and I said, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and bust it open. And it's Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger. And I was kind of skeptical at first, because I thought, you know, after 4 or 5 years, if I open this up and it's all warped and everything, I'm going to be so pissed. But it was perfect and sounds absolutely great on vinyl, too. And with all the different Soundgarden things that are out there, the different albums that I have by them, this is definitely my favorite stage of Soundgarden. when it comes to just the songwriting, the sound, the heaviness, and all of that. This to me was the pinnacle of Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger. And of course, my favorite song on here is probably Outshine. So that was a great spin right there. Jimmy McGriff got a little funky, kind of jazzy funky with groove grease. Some really cool stuff there. And I guess the Naked Women were coming out of the woodwork because I also was spinning a little Blind Faith. You know, this is back with good old Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, and all of them. And of course, this is the band cover before they switched it to what actually ended up being this on the front cover of the other pressing, which I do have over there. But so Blind Faith, really good stuff here. And of course, you have songs on here like Presence of the Lord and I don't know, We All Right, Can't Find My Way Home. There's all kinds of great stuff. But probably Presence of the Lord is my favorite track off of this album. Then the man himself. I was watching a blues special on TV the other day, and it made me just start to dig into my blues collection. And so I had, of course, to go right to Muddy Waters. This is kind of his greatest hits. I mean, just all kinds of great stuff on here, including maybe my favorite song by him, which is I Can't Be Satisfied. That song, again, just has a lot of, what seems like such a simple song has so much embedded in it. It's just an incredible piece of work. So again, that's Muddy Waters. A little more Slayer. Pulled out Christ's Illusion there. And again, just Slayer being Slayer. Great stuff here. A lot of slow beat, palm muted riffs in this particular Slayer album, which is kind of that's that little element of Slayer that I love so much. You typically kind of see it in the middle of their songs where they're just like, going a million miles an hour. Then they'll just kind of slow down and get into like this really kind of smooth groove, and then they go back into hyper speed or whatever. But there's a lot of that on this album, which makes it one of my favorite for sure. So that was a good listen. And of course, somehow when I started listening to jazz, I always end up coming back to this album. Listened to the entire thing from front to back twice yesterday. This album will just never get old, I'm telling you. Will never get old. The best jazz album ever, if you haven't heard me say that 1,000 times already. But John Coltrane's Love Supreme, perfection. Alright. So I didn't keep out all the cassettes and everything, so we'll, as always, I tend to put those away. Here are a few CDs that I've been spinning that I didn't put away yet. A couple of jazz ones here. Rick Braun. You guys know him as one of my favorite smooth jazz artists. The Best of Acid Jazz. Again, I was kind of in a smooth jazz mood the other day. This kind of compilation, a lot of different things. And then Paul Castle's Jazz Masters 3. Another one I've listened to quite some time. Or I haven't listened to in quite some time. A couple of new pickups. Megadeth, The World Needs a Hero. As I mentioned a couple of videos ago, I'm trying to complete my Megadeth CD collection. So that's one there. And I also picked up Encrypted Writings. So I still need, gosh, I don't have the list in front of me, but I still need Peace Cells, Killing Is My Business, and then most of the new stuff too, Collider, Endgame, what's the other ones? Slipped my mind now, but like the last 3 or 4 of the new albums, I need to get those as well, but I'm working on it, so those are 2 great additions there. Another good one I pulled out last night, Yo-Yo Ma. Kind of got into my classical mood, so that was a nice one to pull out. And my boy Marvin. This one, of course, goes without saying. What's Going On? Classic album, must have, every collection. And so those are just a few of the CDs I hadn't actually put away yet, because again, there's a lot of different things that I'd spun. Oh, here's one other thing too that I got for Christmas, which I thought was a really cool gift. Was this neat little book that was put together made off of photos from my music room, which is really cool. So anyway, I just kind of go through it really quick. Say this is a really awesome Christmas gift. I mean, you know, professional photographer. I mean, more, well, yeah. I mean, I would give it that label. And just wanted to take some pictures of my music room and ended up putting together this, you know, really cool thing. So, you know, pictures like this, which I'm looking at this at some point and I was like, holy cow, is that my music room? It looks like something out of a magazine or something. But I mean, that really awesome shot right there. So I won't go through all of them. Maybe just like a couple I thought were really cool. I mean, it's just like some really cool shots, and I just kept thinking to myself, I was like, holy cow, this looks like something right out of a 2 or 3 page magazine script. There's a couple other great shots. Very nice black and white. I don't know how it's going to show up on the camera here, but just very crisp photos. But I don't know, I just thought this was a really awesome little Christmas gift that was put together. So, what else? See if there's any other bigger pictures. And all the ones at the end here are kind of smaller, so it may not show up as well. But, I mean, that is really freaking cool. So yeah, that was just kind of an awesome little booklet that was given to me called Mr. Hall of Fame's Music Room. I'm just leaving it on my coffee table. It's just kind of like a little, you know, whatever. So that was a very cool gift as well. Really appreciated that one. So anyway, there you go, VC. All the cool stuff that I have been listening to and have gotten. Next couple of days still have some really exciting music stuff to do because I will be going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in the next few days, which is going to be great. I have every intention of being completely plastered out in Kiss gear as part of my little rebellion for them not having Kiss in there. But so maybe I'll get a picture or two of that. What else is going on? There is a record show coming up pretty soon, so I will be hitting that as well. I do have a new pair of speakers that I will be adding to my second system over here, so when I get those in I might do kind of an unboxing, that type of thing. I've sold off a few of my receivers and stuff like that and kind of gathered up a little bit of money that I'm going to use to purchase these very nice speakers that I've been wanting to get forever, so that should be happening soon as well. But other than that, Merry Christmas everyone. Hope everyone had a great one. Hope you guys got everything you wanted, being material stuff or being sentimental stuff or just being emotional stuff and everything in between. Have a good rest of the break. Have a good New Year if I don't talk to you. And most of all, just be safe, and we look forward to 2014. Although I'm sure I'll be back in another video long before 2014 hits. Alright, so take care, VC.